Hey everybody, we're not going to be ruining your Whamageddon this Christmas season. Nope, we're not playing any kind of wham.
No wham.
But we are going to be doing our top 10 worst Christmas songs of all time.
And you're going to come along for the ride, because if we have to hear it, you have to hear it. Wait, but we're not going to be playing the songs, are we?
No, we're not playing them. We get to talk about how terrible these songs are. You get to agree with us, as you inevitably will.
But you don't actually have to listen to it.
And you don't have to hear them. Why would we play something that we don't like?
We care about you. We're not going to torture you on Christmas.
Exactly. And that's the quality we bring to you here on the Cock and Block. Cock and Block. Hey everybody, so we're ready to tuck into our top 10 list of the worst Christmas songs of all time.
This is going to be fun because Josh compiled this list for the most part, and we sort of went over it, but he really found some doozies. There are some bad songs on here, and you've got an honorable mention. We won't get to that to the end, but that's hilarious. It's really funny.
We'll talk about that.
We'll get to that.
And actually, I think I'll call him a dishonorable mention. May actually be something that you expect to be on this list, but isn't, and we're going to explain why.
I think that I think he's right. I think you're going to expect his dishonorable mention to be
at least one of them.
Yeah, we'll touch on that, right?
Yeah. Okay, so starting with number 10 on our list here.
Number 10.
I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. It's an old song. It's from 1952. Written by British songwriter Tommy Connor and first recorded by Jimmy Boyd. It is famously covered by the Jackson 5.
Yeah. I did not know that.
That's the one I've heard the most, was the Jackson 5 version. However, Spike Jones did one that was a little more colorful. It was I Caught Mommy Doing Something Else with Santa Claus, which I have heard and did traumatize me a bit as a kid. I mean, come on.
Is it? Now, let me ask you.
Okay.
Is the traumatization the reason it's on the list? Or is
partially, yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I can't argue with that.
Yeah. So it's a little kid who discovers mom's having a bit of a smooch fest with old Santa. And what is Santa Claus? He's this ancient elf who goes from house to house. I mean, how many old housewives is he taking advantage of? Gross.
You know what? That's a good point. You got to think of it from the kid's point of view.
Yeah,
he knows that Santa's getting around. So if he's with your mom, he's probably with everybody's mom.
That being said,
it's icky.
I do acknowledge the obvious possible meaning is that Dad's Santa Claus and he's dressed up as Santa Claus. That's the nice version that we can hope for.
I don't think that's what it is. No, I'm kidding. Of course that's what it is. But
right. But
we have to look at it from the child's perspective.
Right. A child would never discover, oh, that's my dad. That's just dad and mom making out again. Ugh. That's gross enough.
He would likely think his mom was maybe a bit shady.
Yeah. But it sounds like it's for kids, the song does. And if you're a kid and you hear it, you jump to those weird conclusions. That's why
Agreed.
It's on our list.
That's why it's on the list. It's not appropriate.
All right.
Let's do number 9 now.
Number 9.
All right. Number 9.
I like this one.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
It deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, and this one's in, let's see, when is this written? 1979. Written by Randy Brooks, originally performed by a husband and wife duo, Elmo Shropshire and Patsy Trigg. I actually don't know any other bands that I've not heard any other versions. I've only heard this one. Why is this a Christmas thing?
Why?
Why do we want Grandma to get ran over by reindeer? I mean, what kind of people are
If
we?
it wasn't a reindeer and, say, a Chevrolet, would this still be funny?
It's not funny anyways.
It's not funny, no.
It's traumatic for both the reindeer and Grandma.
The
reindeer who kills a human has to be put down afterwards. You know that.
That is the way we do it. Like if a dog attacks somebody. So
horrible.
we here at the Cock and Block, I want to be very clear about this.
We don't condone it.
We do not condone assault or injury or great bodily harm of any kind, especially when it comes to our grandmothers. We don't like it and we don't appreciate it.
So, number 8 on our list.
Number 8.
It's Santa Baby.
Santa Baby.
I know some of you are going to like Santa Baby, and you're going to disagree with me. But stick with me for a second.
Yeah, well, we know that it's a good sounding song. It's fun to listen to.
The song was originally written by Joan Javits and Philip Springer and performed originally by Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt, Catwoman.
Oh,
you remember her,
yeah.
right? Yeah, she's great. Love Eartha
Wow,
Kitt.
okay.
1953. And don't get me wrong, I love Eartha Kitt. I've heard her sing other songs, and she's fantastic. Just hate the song. It is the song that is like covered by every pop star that wants to sound sexy.
Wants to sound sexy at Christmas time.
They want to be that mix between Betty Boop and Marilyn Monroe. Man, those are dated references, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. That is a perfect way of describing it.
So when you think of these pop stars, you think of some sort of sexy sell thing. Madonna,
Yeah,
Kylie Minogue,
right.
Taylor Swift,
Ariana Grande? Right?
Trisha Yearwood, Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani.
And you're right.
They all did it.
And Ariana Grande have all done their own takes on this. Why? Because they want that sexy sound.
But my problem with that is they're not only sexualizing themselves, they're sexualizing Santa.
Why?
What? Santa's like grandpa that gives you gifts.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about Santa being a horn dog.
Yeah, he's an old fat elf. Why are we sexing up Santa?
Yeah, like leave Santa out of your sexy agenda, ladies.
And if you don't want to go by the fictionalized version of the old jolly elf from the fairy tales, you're talking about the ancient saint.
Gets even worse. Yeah.
Who can't even have sex. He's taking the vow, right?
Yeah, so basically what we're saying is, ladies, be sexy.
We love
We love it. Not going to stop you at all. But please, leave Santa out of it.
We don't need Santa with your sex.
I mean, if nothing else, Mrs. Claus does not appreciate it.
Right?
What's our number 7, bud?
Number 7.
Número 7.
It's a wonderful Christmas time. Now, okay, I'm going to say
You're going to have to explain this one.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
The next two are both Beatles songs. Or not Beatles songs. They're written by former Beatles after they've already been out of the Beatles. The actual Beatles as a group has a Christmas song as well, and it's not on the list. But this one is Paul McCartney's from 1979. He did it with his band Wings, and I just hate it. It's one of the most annoying songs ever, and they play it constantly on the radio. It's torture.
Kind of boring and repetitive.
Oh, so repetitive. And that cringy synth sound,
Now, that was
it hurts.
That was the sound of the time. It was a big, like, modern sounding thing to be doing. But it doesn't change the fact that it sucks.
If I can skip it, it's absolutely skipped immediately as soon as I hear the beginning.
Agreed.
If I can't skip it, then
You just go to
I might
the room
have
or
to
something.
have some of my sugar-free apple juice to just, help me with the anxiety that it causes me, because it really does annoy the heck out of me. So
I agree with you on that one.
I hate this song.
So, number 7, it's not a moral issue. It's
Not a moral issue.
The writing, it's fine. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
But a Christmas song should bring
joy.
joy and that Christmas spirit. Not, I mean, like, if I wanted elevator music, I'd listen to Kenny G.
Oh, this is even worse, I think. I'd rather listen to Kenny G.
I
At
would
least
too,
I can block
actually.
it out.
I
This
would
one's like an
too.
earworm that just like penetrates your mental psyche and tortures you. And after you're done listening to it, it's still in there. You got to get it out.
That's
afterwards.
the worst. There's nothing worse than a bad song that you can't escape from.
Okay.
I can think of a few.
Yeah. So let's do the next one.
Number 6.
So
Okay.
Number 6 is Happy Xmas.
War is
Over. Written by John Lennon and Yoko
And
Ono.
Yoko Ono.
For their John and Yoko Plastic Ono band, done in 1971 with the Harlem Choir, actually.
Oh, I
Listen-
didn't. Oh.
This song is actually better. I haven't had these in the wrong order.
Musically, it's better.
It's, well,
Right?
I'll just say overall better. It's boring as
But it's
heck.
like political.
It's
and-
political and depressing.
Yeah, like, ooh, it's not a feel-good song.
No.
I think, like, a prerequisite for being a Christmas song is it should evoke good feelings. It should make us
Right.
feel good. Like, that's the season, is you want to feel good, you want to feel uplifted, not be like, let's the world is terrible and
Vietnam is awful. The war in Vietnam is awful. And we're protesting against the war in Vietnam, which is what the song is about.
also Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. And the melody is very much just a solo project, not Beatles John Lennon, but solo John Lennon type of melody.
Absolutely.
Da, 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 da. It's like really demure and boring and depressing.
Boring.
Yeah.
Well, it's depressing. It's a little boring, but it's incredibly...
Yeah.
It's a downer. The song's a downer. You can't be a Christmas song. You can't be this holiday song and be a downer. It just doesn't work. So
yeah. Sorry, Beatles fans.
I agree.
We got 2 former Beatles songs on our list here.
But to be fair, we both recognize the Beatles as one of the greatest bands of all time.
Yeah, and they have another Christmas song that's not on the list. So
Right.
You can go
This
check
is
that out.
the bad ones. We're doing the bad ones, yeah.
Number 5 is Where Are You Christmas? Now, I didn't know this until I researched this. Where Are You Christmas is actually written by Mariah Carey, not sang by Mariah Carey, along with James Horner and Will Jennings, for How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Faith Hill, right?
In the year 2000. And
2000.
and it's performed by Faith Hill. And honestly, I just hate the song. And it's played a ton on the radio right now. Like, so much play. Can we stop or dial it back a little bit? The beginning of it irritates me the most. As soon as I hear those orchestra swells, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That kind of like,
yes.
Wow,
This
wow, wow. It's like, oh. And then you get that sort of mirrored tinkly piano coming in.
This song feels a little bit to me like emotional warfare. And I don't appreciate that.
And it makes no sense.
And it makes no sense.
Christmas isn't a place.
It's not a location, like a geographical... Where's Christmas? I don't know, because it's not a place.
Where are you Christmas? I don't really want to know.
Where is being cold?
It's a geographical oddity.
So basically, it's just kind of a dumb song.
I hate it. And it's
one of those she's cashing in, or they're cashing in on the Christmas spirit, and right? Like,
yeah, it's a cash in from a soundtrack movie that was just, I don't know, phoned in.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like
phoned in. Yeah, it was just phoned in.
Every time I hear it, and I hear those stupid orchestra swells at the beginning, and the little piano mirroring.
Now it was for a movie.
Yeah.
So
but they play it on the radio constantly. Honestly, if they just dial it back a little bit, I
leave
probably
it in the
would,
movie. Just have it be in the movie.
Probably wouldn't hate it as much.
In the defense of Mariah Carey and Faith Hill being in a movie, there were probably 30 people telling them how to write it and what to write and what it should sound like. So
from a man's positive, though, I have seen the music video, and Faith Hill is fairly attractive in that video. Just throwing that out there. I'm not no.
I haven't seen it. I probably will after this.
I watched it.
Okay. All right.
She's a rather attractive lady.
That does help.
Yeah.
This one I don't know that well.
Do they know it's Christmas?
This one I'm not super familiar with.
So I'm a little bit older than Matt, and in the 80s, there was this thing with like Live Aid where a bunch of celebrities would get on the stage to promote some horrible thing.
Wait, wasn't
that was happening
Freddie
in the world.
Mercury's thing?
Well, Freddie Mercury was Live Aid, yeah. And that's a great event. Everyone remembers it well. And they kept trying to go to that well over and over again.
Oh, this is post Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you had the comics that did it. I don't remember what the comic relief thing was. Maybe Comic Relief. I think that's what it was called. They did their thing. And then this came out, Band-Aid.
Oh,
and this was...
What?
Yeah.
Band-Aid?
It was to raise money for starvation in Ethiopia. But it came across as this sort of propaganda, promotional sort of stunt.
Same people that did We Are the World?
I don't think it is the same writers, but they
Same
definitely
basic-
same basic concept.
Okay.
Correct us if we're wrong.
We Are the World, by the way, just going to say, love it.
Yeah, actually,
because that was my childhood. Like,
well, here's the thing: We Are the World's an okay song. I don't love it, but it's an okay song.
It takes me back to being like in elementary school and singing like the school. That was that era, the '80s. That was a big deal.
So they're thinking about these Ethiopians, and they're asking, do they know it's Christmas?
Wait, you mean you're at?
Yeah, do they even know? Because they're so poor, do they even know that it's Christmas? And it's
I have problems with this on many levels.
It's kind of offensive. Not only that, the song is terrible.
First off, we're
It's
assuming
terrible.
they give a shit.
Yeah.
We're assuming that they care about our holidays when they likely have their own.
Yeah.
And they likely
I see
have,
what you're saying.
have their own culture. What do they care about our holiday? We're just assuming that their life is lacking because they don't have our holiday. That's icky.
It's icky.
They might be perfectly happy.
Sing a different song. You know, if we're gonna help
that bothers me. I don't like that.
Let's not do. Do they know it's Christmas?
Do they know it's Christmas?
Yeah.
Because if they don't, those poor fools. That's the implication. I don't like it.
You get such greats as Bono, Phil Collins, Boy George, George Michael, and Sting on this list.
I don't like the implications.
Yeah, you know, we were forced to buy this sort of thing when we were a kid because it was charity and it went to a great cause, and you were kind of terrible if you didn't buy it. Don't you care about the Ethiopians?
Absolutely.
I mean, we love you, Ethiopians. We do.
I'm sure they really want to just like shift gears and find a new religion.
We love you enough to want you to not have to hear terrible music.
You know what? My wish would be no Ethiopian is ever subjected to that garbage. Because I do care about people.
I do,
and I don't think they want to hear it any more than I do.
All right.
That's it. That's a good one, bud. That one definitely belongs on the list.
All right. So, number 3.
Number 3.
Funky Christmas. This one is so bad on all levels. It like succeeds at nothing.
Okay, we are both kids of the 80s and 90s. So this one...
So, let me explain. Funky Christmas is two old men, Al Lancelotta and Maurice Starr, right? Who are famous for writing songs for boy bands.
Right.
Wrote this song by the New Kids on the
Block.
Yeah. And the New Kids on the Block, after their successful Hangin' Tough album in 1988, had a very successful follow-up with what in 89? A Christmas album. Cha-ching. Because they have to keep that money train rolling before the next album comes out. Anyways, it's horrible. I mean, it honestly sounds like two old men writing a song for kids to try to make it sound cool. And I know they tried their best. The New Kids
It's
do.
really bad. And
so bad.
I will be the first to admit, there are some songs by the New Kids on the Block I like. I'll admit it.
They're tolerable.
I'll admit it. They have that one song.
We laugh every time we hear Hangin' Tough.
Hangin' Tough is not one of those. That is not one of the songs I like. Hangin' Tough. It's so bad. They have one song. It's like a Beatles ripoff. Do 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 do. It's a great song. All right, I'll admit it. They're ripping off the Beatles.
Cover Girl?
No. That's a. I do remember
the
that
right
song.
stuff.
Nope.
No.
Tonight, do do do. Anyway,
What you're saying sounds better than any New Kids on the Block thing I've heard.
It is the best New Kids on the Block song because honestly, they flat out ripped off the Beatles. The cadence change in the middle, everything was pure Beatles. It was. I don't hate the New Kids, man. That was like my childhood. There was a period of time where like all the girls in my grade school loved the New Kids, so it was like you'd walk through class and like all the girls you had a crush on were like, "Have you heard this song from?" And you're like, "Yeah, killer, great song."
Oh yeah, all the girls in my high
they
school and
loved the New Kids on the Block.
Junior high. It was a junior high for me. They had their jean jackets on with their little patches.
Stonewashed jean jackets on.
Yeah, New Kids. They had a Donnie Wahlberg champion.
Donnie Wahlberg. He was so edgy. He rode a motorcycle.
Or Joey. You had that Joey.
Yeah, everybody. Joey was the favorite, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was the little one, right?
Right.
Yeah. Everybody loved Joey.
And everybody ignored the rest of them. Jonathan and Jordan, nobody.
They were pretty forgettable. They were there.
And Donnie. Oh no, Danny.
Danny. He was the brother of the younger one, right?
That was Jordan. To sum up, yeah, it's a bad song. Fails on every possible way it can. Moving on.
Another song I wholeheartedly agree belongs on this list.
All right, number 2.
Number 2.
Please, Daddy, don't get drunk this Christmas. Implying he's been drunk on many other Christmases.
I don't know that this song needs a lot of explanation.
No, it's terrible. It's horrible.
It speaks for itself.
It's written by Bill Danoff and Taffy Danoff, performed by John Denver in 1975. And John Denver, I don't know. I don't really think of depressing songs when I think of John Denver, but
no, I like John Denver. It's kind of uplifting, except for this.
So the reason this is tough is because a lot of families are affected by alcoholism, and the last thing that a kid needs to be thinking about, or a Christmas carol that you need to hear on the radio, is one about something so real. It's like can we write about it not Christmas related?
I feel like there are way too many kids who live that.
Yeah.
For what do we got to say? Alternately, you could say that he's trying to be realist, blah, blah. No, we don't need that.
It's more kid drama.
It's just more kid drama.
Play it in a different way. Don't play it as a Christmas song.
Daddy, don't get drunk on Christmas. What the title should be is Please, Mommy, Leave Daddy for Christmas.
Oh, if this wasn't written in 1975, yeah.
If it was written in 2005, it'd be like, Please, Mommy, Leave Daddy.
Yeah. Everybody talks about the good old days back in the 1960s and 70s. Hey, people, the good old days weren't that good.
They weren't that good, I don't think.
There were definitely problems back then that we don't have now, and thank God we don't.
We have new problems.
We have new problems,
to be fair,
that are just as horrible, but in completely different ways. So,
but we like to think that we're dealing with problems as we go, and as the new ones come, we're it may not be true, but we definitely, as a society, have come to the conclusion that alcoholism, in the way that it affects children, is not okay, and that's good.
Yeah, Daddy's alcoholism is not something we want to be thinking about. When we're having fun times at our Christmas parties.
And more so, a child should not have to waste one of their Christmas wishes in the hopes that they don't get their ass beat this Christmas by drunken daddy.
Ooh.
I mean...
brutal.
Oof. So that's why that song is where it is.
I have some actual family stories about drunk dad at Christmas time.
Hitting close to home from a bud here.
It is. So, anyways, I hate it.
It belongs right there at number 2 on the list.
That emotional reason is why it's on is number 2.
In fact, before we go to number 1, I'm gonna say that I think that probably could take the number 1 place, except the next song is just so effing gross that it belongs there. It doesn't belong there because of some moral issue. It's just
well, let's go there.
Let's go. Let's let them know.
Number 1, bud.
What's worse than drunken daddy beating you up or beating up mommy? What's worse than that?
Number 1.
Last Christmas. Number 1 worst song. And you kind of heard us talk about it before. You can't be surprised that it's on this list. Written by George Michael and Andrew
Ridgeley, yeah.
From the British pop duo
Andrew Ridgeley, the invisible face of Wham.
Yes. It's the most annoying synth possible. I don't know. Gosh, Wonderful Christmas Time rivals it because that is so irritating too. But these two are neck and neck for irritating synth.
That synth is tragic. Also, I'm curious, while we're on the topic of George Michael, why does all of his music videos start with a car pulling up and stopping and then people with fuzzy boots getting out? Every video of his, if you've ever seen a Wham video, they all start like that. That song is horrible.
It's terrible.
It's about a guy who...
It's depressing.
Well, let's break it down. It's a guy who's going to Christmas with a gal.
Yeah.
Last Christmas, he was at the same place with his group of friends with another gal who broke his heart. First off, we all know George Michael was not into any of these women. So there's an element of dishonesty here.
It could be about men.
Well, I think it probably was. No, I mean, okay. So that being said, the women were just placeholders for what was really in his heart. It's not a good song. No. Even if you ignore all of that, it's
depressing.
It's like a dude's there with a girl. I feel bad for the girl, the new girl. She's there with her new dude thinking that it's like this great Christmas, but he's just looking at the old girl from last year who's with her dude.
Oh my God.
Skis on top of skis.
Oh, that's right.
It's gross. It's gross. Everything about it's
very an
gross.
immature thing to do. Like,
So immature. Like, don't be with people if you're still thinking about other people.
Right.
So it's these two people who are using the people they're with. It's gross. Everything about it's gross.
and
Plus, we know he wasn't into girls.
which is fine.
I don't have a problem with that, but don't.
Well, he had to hide it. It was a time and place.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. I would appreciate honesty. Have it be about the dudes you're into.
Me too, but
In
that
the
kind of
80s,
honesty,
true.
we didn't have the ability
That
to
is
be
true.
that honest.
That is
until
true.
now. So
We
again,
can't hold him responsible
progress,
for that.
right? Progress is happening.
Progress, yeah.
Okay, so it has spawned an annoying social media trend called Whamageddon. We referred to that at the beginning. Whamageddon is basically when
I need some apple juice thinking about that.
you take the month of December and it's a game where you try not to hear this song. That's it. You just try not to hear this song. And if you hear the Wham version, you lose. A different version or a remix or cover is okay.
Have you heard it yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't lost
I've heard it
Wham.
like 4 freaking times.
You've lost Whamageddon.
I like open up Facebook videos. Oh, I can't sleep. Let me open up It's Last Christmas. Son of a...
And I haven't heard it or I haven't seen it, but there's a movie called Last Christmas, and it is, I think, literally about giving somebody your heart, like morbidly, like.
Oh, like actually taking...
Yeah, it's like a Christmas maybe horror theme. I don't know. I haven't seen it. My daughter saw it. She said it was terrible.
I don't know that George Michael is the best starting point for a horror film.
I don't know. Maybe.
Or George Michaels. I could be wrong.
Is it George Michaels or Michael?
George Michaels? I think it's Michaels. I would ask you guys, but you probably care less than we do.
Yeah. I think Michael, but we're.
You think it's Michael?
I think it's Michael. You think it's Michael?
Let me see. We're gonna solve this real quick.
Okay. All right.
Is it George Michael, or is it Michaels?
Michaels or Michael? I see you looking at Dr. Dre. Got some Dre up in here.
Oh, and now he's heard it.
Oh, you ruined it for me. Ah! And that's all we can play in our video.
That's all we can play.
And it is George Michael.
It is George Michael. You're right.
Yeah.
He's now heard the song. If I had to hear it, you have to hear it.
You ever kidding me? So, dishonorable mentions.
Yeah.
So, we're done with our top 10.
Yeah.
These are not on the list, but could be on the list. I Wish It Was Christmas Today, which does get some play. It has weird elephant noises. Possibly a racist guitar solo. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it was.
That's a thing that we just heard.
Yeah, you hear it.
I'm not gonna.
You hear it.
I hear it.
So that's not a great one.
Not a great song.
And the last one on our dishonorable mentions,
Maybe
is,
the most controversial.
At
least lately, the most controversial Christmas song.
You probably thought it was supposed to be on this list.
Mm-hmm. You might have thought this would be number 1, but it's not.
Baby, It's Cold Outside. Now, a lot of people think that this one is about a woman and a man on a date, and she's being roofied and taken advantage of by the man.
He's trying to convince her, against her better wishes, to stay when she actually doesn't want to stay.
Right.
That would be wrong and creepy.
But this wasn't written when Bill Cosby was starting his tirade.
Right,
This was written at a bit before that.
Right.
And roofing wasn't kind of a thing. And it was sort of fashionable for a woman to be coy on dating, to act like I actually want to stay, but I have to make an excuse to make it sound like I'm cute by...
There was, I guess you could say, pressure from society for women to not want to spend time with a man.
Yeah.
When maybe they might want to spend time with a man.
Right.
So it was considered socially appropriate to not want that.
Yeah.
And again, to be very clear, we do not in any way condone.
No.
Don't go down that road with us. That's not what we mean. What we mean is that we believe she didn't want to leave.
She didn't want it.
She didn't want to. I don't think she wanted to. I think she wanted to be convinced to stay and spend time with the guy. I mean, she's being coy. She's being cute. I mean, that was the time. That was the way women sort of felt they needed to act at the time. Because if women were open about their sexual desires in that day and age, they were considered a whore, which is not cool. So they were, they felt a pressure to because, I don't know how else to say that. I think I could be wrong. I don't think that guy was trying to sexually assault her.
No.
I think she wanted to spend time with him, and I think he wanted to spend time with her, like men and women frequently want to do. I mean, that's pretty natural, but because it was, the 20s?
I don't know. But
20s
she
or
was
30s?
being flirty.
Coy.
She was
Flirty and coy.
And she said, "Hey, what's in this drink?" Like somehow, like, "Ooh, I'm lightheaded. I might have to stay," but not necessarily implying that he put anything in there. But maybe they had a little bit of rum with their eggnog. I mean, it's not
I'm
nefarious.
sure you really could find a way to make it ugly, and you could probably find a way to make our opinion of it ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But I simply don't think that's. I think you're right.
I don't think it's.
I don't think it's that way. I think these are two people, a man and a woman, who were really vibing on each other.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to spend some time together, but she didn't want to be the one to. I think she wanted him to put in the work. She wanted him to ask her to stay.
And it's a great song. So to sum up, yeah, we don't think that Baby It's Cold Outside is about roofing and taking advantage of a woman.
No.
We think it's just a fun, flirty song that's great for Christmas time, and we recommend continuing listening to it.
Mm-hmm. And if we're wrong, and in fact that dude was singing about wanting to roofie a girl,
right?
Boo that dude.
Yeah.
We're not for that, but we just don't think we don't think that's the case.
Yeah, follow your own conscience.
Cancel culture is very aggressive, and
It is.
and maybe a little overly so. Let's not just cancel everything.
Lastly, we want to add a song that's never been done before onto the list of worst Christmas songs for your pleasure only, and we're gonna do that for you right now. It's Christmas. It's Christmas time. It's time to bring out the Christmas songs. Better be good or you'll get cold rocks, 'cause it's Christmas. It's Christmas time. Hanging up all that mistletoe, gonna kiss my girl out in the snow, 'cause it's Christmas. It's Christmas time. We like ringing holly bells and putting up bells upon my shelves, 'cause it's Christmas. It's Christmas time. All right, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you have a great one.